Once upon a time, there were 4 adventurous American friends, 3 guys and 1 girl, who decided to travel to Colombia for a wild vacation. They were excited to explore the vibrant culture, meet locals, and party all night long. Little did they know that their trip would take a turn for the worst. As soon as they arrived in Colombia, they checked into a strange hotel that smelled like grass. They didn't think much of it at the time, assuming it was just a cultural difference. The hotel was located in a bustling part of the city, and they quickly immersed themselves in the nightlife scene. They spent the first few days at Colombian parties, drinking and dancing with locals, enjoying the lively atmosphere. But their fun came to a halt when they were robbed at one of the parties. They were stripped of their clothes and left to walk back to the hotel half-naked. It was a humiliating and traumatic experience for them, but they tried to brush it off and continue their adventure. One night, while walking around Medellin, they stumbled upon a group of drug dealers. They were curious and decided to check it out, but soon realized it was a mistake when they were captured by the criminals. The drug dealers were ruthless, and the Americans were terrified. The situation seemed hopeless until the girl managed to send a message to the police using her phone, despite the risk of being caught. The police received the message and quickly sprang into action to save them. They located the drug lab where the Americans were being held captive and engaged in a shootout with the criminals. After a tense standoff, the police were able to rescue the Americans from the dangerous situation. The group was traumatized by their experience and decided to cut their trip short. They hurriedly returned to the States, but the troubles didn't end there. Some of them began to have serious mental problems as a result of the traumatic events they experienced in Colombia. They were forcibly put into a psychiatric hospital for their own safety and well-being. The trip to Colombia turned out to be a nightmare for the 4 friends, and it taught them a valuable lesson about being careful when traveling to unfamiliar places. They learned that adventure and excitement are not worth putting themselves in harm's way, and that it's important to always be aware of their surroundings and take precautions to stay safe. The drug dealers were furious that their captives had been rescued, and they were determined to take revenge. They tracked down the hospital where the 4 Americans were being treated and snuck in to kidnap them. They took them to a remote location and began to torture them, hoping to exact their revenge for being foiled by the police. Despite the severity of their mental issues, the 4 Americans were able to summon the strength to fight back against their captors. They managed to escape and fled to a nearby town, where they alerted the authorities to what had happened. The FBI quickly launched an investigation into the drug dealers' activities and were able to track them down. A fierce gun battle ensued, and in the end, the FBI were able to take the criminals into custody. But the trauma of their experiences had taken a toll on the 4 Americans. They had been pushed to the brink of insanity, and their mental health had deteriorated to the point where they could no longer function in society. They were deemed to be a danger to themselves and others and were sent to a psychiatric hospital for the rest of their lives. And so, the once carefree backpackers who had stumbled upon a group of drug dealers in Colombia were forever changed by the horrors they had experienced. Their tale serves as a warning to others to be careful when traveling in unfamiliar places and to be aware of the dangers that may lurk around every corner. This harrowing tale serves as a cautionary reminder of the dangers that can lurk in unfamiliar places, and the importance of being aware of one's surroundings at all times.